win a game, you've got the momentum. It's all about confidence, and providing you can get that confidence into the team, a bit like we saw in Europe this week. The game's against you, a few minutes left, and somehow Burnley, with confidence, have got back and won the game.
Does that comeback against Watford last weekend just epitomise everything that we've seen with this Burnley team, Farah, since Mike Jackson took over? They seem refreshed, rejuvenated. They've got a spring in their step. The players look happier. They look more relaxed.
Yeah, they certainly look more happier, don't they? And playing with a lot more freedom than what we were used to seeing them under Daesh. But I think they've always had that fight as a Burnley team, and they're used to fighting relegation. So the position they're in, I think they're more used to, ahead of the likes of Leeds and Everton. So they're better positioned for that. But I think you're right. Against Watford, Pope keeping them in the game and only going in at the half 1-0 down, because they looked leggy in that first half, Burnley. They looked really tired coming off the back of 2 games. It was a midweek and then they had the weekend, didn't they? So they looked really tired in that first half. But it's something, whatever was said at half time, because the second half performance from Burnley, the fight, the chances they created, they were always going to come back into that game. It's just whether they can do that again repeatedly against Villa tomorrow, I'm not sure.
It's been a fascinating turnaround, Sam, because I think when Sean Dyche was sacked at Burnley, journalists and the press were all saying, well, this is Burnley done for now without Sean Dyche there. And all of a sudden, Mike Jackson has come in out of nowhere. No one even really knew what he was doing at the club. And he stepped in, and it's been remarkable. How surprised have you been by that?
I mean, the thing that surprised me most, because I thought if you're going to sack Sean Dyche the day before going into that weekend of fixtures, you must have somebody lined up. Like, if you're going to sack this iconic manager that everyone loves and they've got a pub named after him, you must be like, okay, well, he has gone, but here's Rafa Benitez. Do you know what I mean? Something to go, okay. But for them to go, oh yeah, we'll just give it to this guy and we'll think about it. I can see why people thought they were doomed, but clearly, and I think there were some other reporters who said this at the time. Obviously, Burnley's not my beat, so I didn't have to, but I was speaking to people around it as well. I think the players had just grown a bit sick of Sean Dyche. And you talk about having a spring in the step and all of this, and they're playing different passes. It's just a change of environment. I think the players were happy just to see somebody else. And I don't know why, talking about Arteta timing early on, I don't know why Burnley did it on the Friday. I don't know why they didn't do it after the Monday, when they lost to Norwich. I don't know why it was then, and it looked really weird. But the fact that they've obviously looked at it and thought, this guy, for all he's done for the club, isn't going to keep us up. It looked a strange decision at the time, but fair play to them. Whether they stay up or not, what they were thinking is happening. Or hoping for, maybe.
They've good account of themselves, haven't they? Giving themselves a great chance of doing that. I think, what did Dyche win? Did he not win 3 in the whole season, and they've won 3 in the last 4? So, yeah,
so
he's already on par with that,
He wasn't doing a good job this season, Dyche, so...
There is one thing. We talk about the new manager bounce. I mean, Jesse Marsh has signed a contract. He is the manager. With Jackson, he's temporary interim coach manager. He doesn't have to sign players' contracts or negotiate new deals, which makes his job quite clear and focused, get the team ready to play football. When you've got all that turbulence, like Sean Dyche would have had going into a season which you might get relegated, it becomes more of a concerning issue for him. So I think at the moment he's got a happy place to work in.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy place, Turf Moor. That was the saying, wasn't it? It was.
I'm sure I've heard that.
It was. Look, it's Aston Villa for Burnley this weekend, but this is actually the first of 2 games against Aston Villa that Burnley have to play, which seems bizarre. I'm not sure whether I mean, obviously this is because of COVID rearranging fixtures. That's why this has happened this way. Do you think that's as a player, I'm intrigued to know, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because if you lose the game, then you probably go into the next game thinking, oh my God, we're going to lose again. Or actually, can you take something from losing the game to the next one?
It depends who loses.
True.
I mean, if it's Burnley losing, then obviously you think, oh no, we've got to play them again. Can we do anything different, and how you lost the game? But at the same time, then, again, because we don't know the outcome of the results, it could be such a positive. Because you beat Villa in the first game, then the second game, you're just waiting to take them on again. And knowing full well, like Stevie's thinking about finishing middle, it's one of those, it's like a lost place in football, finishing middle of the table. You don't get anything for it. Will the players be motivated with 2 games to go? Good opportunity for Burnley in that sense.
What do you think, Farah, about that?
It's difficult. When you have a game, so I can compare it. Chelsea women, they played Tottenham back to back. They played them on the Sunday, then midweek on the Wednesday, and they were both really ugly games. There was a goal in it, but they were just, Chelsea obviously have to win. Likewise, Burnley have to win those games, so they become really ugly when you need the results. And I think it could be pretty similar in these games. There'll be a goal in it either way. It's difficult to prepare. Do you change if you lose? Do you change your tactics going into the second game, which is a week away? I always find it quite difficult when you play a team so close together, and whether you change your tactics or go with what you used to doing.
As things stand at the moment, though, for Burnley, do you think they're going to stay up from what we've seen under Mike Jackson?
I think so. I suppose that's what I said earlier. The more wins you get, you're more likely to mess up. But and even more so when you're a team at the bottom. So I can't really contradict myself on that one. But they're doing what they need to do. Like they're playing with confidence. They're playing with freedom. They will be enjoying it. They will be thinking, we've not played like this for years. You know, they're scoring the kind of goals that they didn't really score. They're making different types of passes. Just even the obvious example of McNeil coming in, playing on the right and going onto his left. It's just different. They must be enjoying it. You can't back against that, really. You know, if you've got that momentum and you're on a roll, it can help. But obviously, teams at the bottom, there is no consistency, is there? So.